All right, let's go ahead and get started. So thank you everybody so much for joining us tonight. We are going to be discussing the Clarksville, Tennessee market. This will also encompass Oak Grove, Kentucky. And we're really excited to have everyone on tonight to learn more about this market. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. If you've been to our presentations before, welcome back. As I mentioned, my name's Kristen Tabar. I'm an advisor and realtor here with Marshall Reddick Real Estate, and I'm thrilled to be joined by Malika. I'll let her introduce herself a little later on. Let's go ahead and hop in and get started. I've been with the company for 9 years this year, so I'm really excited again, to be on this presentation tonight. As you can see in some of my details that you're reading in front of you, I have been investing with Marshall Reddick for the last 10 years. I actually started as an investor. I was a client before I became an employee. So always like to be able to share with my clients that I get to practice what I preach. And my husband and I have been slowly building our portfolio over the last 10 years. I've been helping my clients to do the same thing, all while trying to manage those little two monsters. I mean, my favorite kids in front of that Christmas tree down there, that's Cassie and JT. They are 6 and 8. And down in the corners, my husband Jason and I at a winery last year. Everyone has different motivations and reasons for wanting to invest, to work less hours, maybe retire altogether. I like to spend time with my family. So we have been steadily investing, continuing to work, and preparing ourselves to spend more time with with our family, my husband and I, with our kids. So a little bit about me. Let's jump into Marshall Reddick, our services, and what we offer our clients. We are a full service real estate brokerage. We help our clients across the nation to buy and sell not only their primary residences, but also investment properties as well. We manage those properties for our investors. We are a private money lender, which means we can help our clients to purchase properties outside of the conventional constraints of a government-backed loan. And we offer our clients the opportunity to invest in our Marshall Reddick Mortgage Fund as well. So lots of different options for investors who want to be in the real estate realm, but don't necessarily want to own a physical asset. And in addition to all these services we offer in-house, we also have partners and vendors who offer insurance, lending, 1031 exchange accommodations, CPAs, etc. So pretty much the gamut of who you would need to work with, speak to, etc., in order to get in order to build a portfolio. So what are we going to cover today? I'm not going to read this to you. I'm assuming everyone can read who's joined us tonight. But we are going to hear everything and anything about the Clarksville market. Malika is going to cover the demographic. We're going to cover the major employers. We're going to talk about a few properties and a lot of other details as we go through. So take notes if you'd like to. Also know that this is being recorded, and if you'd like to come back and watch it again, it will be posted to the Marshall Reddick website for you to do so. This is a snapshot of our national footprint. So for those of you newer to Marshall Reddick, in the early, part of the 2010s, we actually worked with third-party referral partners. And in the last 10 years, we have opened up offices across the nation where we have our own agents, our own property management, and our own teams to help our clients and take care of our clients for the life of their investment. So you can see here, all of these little tabs, if you will, are going to point to a brick and mortar Marshall Reddick office. So Malika's sitting over there in the Clarksville office. I'm out here in Orange County, and everywhere in between, we also have teams, as I mentioned, agents, property management, and everyone else who would be important to a real estate transaction for our clients. So what makes this great for our clientele is that we really are a one-stop shop for everything real estate related, whether it's your primary, whether it's a rental, we got you covered, as they say. So this is a great slide. I want everyone to take a look, take note, how to choose where to invest. These are 7 criteria that Marshall Reddick as a company is constantly evaluating because we want to see where the markets we currently invest in fall into these criteria. And we also want to see where other markets may be falling into that criteria as we're constantly evaluating to ensure that our markets are strong and our clients have a great opportunity to invest in a strong market. So we always want to look at the jobs, we want a low vacancy rate, we want economic diversity, you know, a lot of different employment options give a lot of different people a reason to move to a certain area. Maybe it's a relocation. Affordability, which is a real strong suit in the Clarksville market, and we'll talk more about that when we get to showing some properties that we currently have listed as available. Good education, of course, reliable property management, and maybe most importantly, property management. And also we want landlord-friendly states, which again, Tennessee and Kentucky are both going to fall into this category. So we always want to make sure that the markets where we're looking at investing are checking off these boxes. So Clarksville, Tennessee checks off these boxes. And we are lucky to have Malika Womack as one of our agents in the area. I'm going to go ahead and bring her on now. For those of you who don't know, Malika was actually one of those third-party partners that I mentioned a little earlier on in the presentation. We were lucky enough to open our office in the area and bring her on board. I've been working with Malika for my entire 9-year career here at Marshall Reddick, and I look forward to many more years. So without further ado, Malika, I'll go ahead and hand it over to you.
Thank you so much, Kristen. I appreciate it. As Kristen has said, I've been working with Marshall Reddick by way of third party. I want to say since like 2013. It's been quite some time, and I have learned a lot. I've worked with a lot of investors. I've helped a lot of investors. I've you know, did a lot of transactions with as my tender with Marshall Reddick. I am licensed in Tennessee and Kentucky because why would I not be? We're so close. You know, we're right here at the border of Kentucky with Fort Campbell. So as a realtor, if you're going to be, you know, a very successful agent, you might as well be licensed in both states because I help in both states. So they call me a local expert. I do pretty well know Clarksville. I've been here for quite some time. This is my 13th year living in Clarksville. So I do pretty well. I'm very familiar with the area as well as Oak Grove and Hopkinsville as well. I have successfully flipped over 250 properties with the help of my dear husband, who is my muscle man. We do a lot of renovations and a lot of flips to put the property in turnkey state. Turnkey state. I've done over 400 transactions, you know, between Kentucky and Tennessee. And I am what you call a project manager. I oversee if you are looking to have any type of renovation done to your property, or you want to buy a property that might need renovation or whatever. I oversee those projects. So that's a little bit about me. Also, I'm very proud. I'm a grandma. I just love telling people that. I just love the fact that I'm a grandma and I love my babies. So this is our team. This is part of our team anyway. We won for the last couple of years. We have won Clarksville's best. Either we got the gold or we got the silver. So 2 years in a row, we have accomplished that milestone of, you know, being voted in as the best of Clarksville. So we won in the real estate company, and I think we also came in silver for property management as well. So these are some of our property management team members and agents here. So if you go on Zillow, you go on the Marshall Reddick Zillow page, you're going to see that there's several agents on there. for Clarksville. We have a great team. Each and every realtor is very talented. So, all of, we are all talented. We can all offer you pretty much the same thing in reference to, working if you're trying to sell your property, if you want to buy a property, if you're trying to do a 1031, we have the team members that can help you successfully. We have 400 plus properties under management in between. As you can see, if you look at the map, most of our properties are going to be in the Clarksville and Oak Grove area. We do have some a little higher up in the Hopkinsville area, and we also have them starting to, grow in Nashville. So Nashville is our newest market, but it is slowly but surely growing. And this kind of gives you an idea of, the distance. It's about a 50-minute drive from Clarksville to Nashville, so less than an hour you can be in Nashville. Population in Clarksville, we're looking at around 235 people. It has grown tremendously. As I said earlier, I've been here for 13 years, and I remember when it was like a lot of cornfields. It was a lot of farmland, and the developers have bought that land up, and they have built, single family homes and subdivisions. They built townhouses and multifamilies. Like, it's just tremendously growing. I think I did some research, and in the last 5 years, 15.5% is what the growth has been in the last 5 years. The median age here is around 32, and the average income bracket is around 63,000 a year. Okay. Home ownership, 61%, and that has increased. This used to be, predominantly a renter's market. So it was more people who were renting than homeowners, but the home ownership is growing, at a steady pace. The average price for properties right now is about $313,000. That has grown too. I've watched it go from $157,000 and now it has doubled. Unemployment rate is about a little bit over 3.5% for your unemployment rate, but there's a lot of opportunities here that keeps Clarksville thriving. The top 5 reasons people are moving to Clarksville. Number 1 is affordability, lower cost of living, of housing options compared to nearby cities. And the nearby city they're, referencing to is Nashville. From the year 2016 up until, now, I have relocated so many families from Nashville. They want to keep their employment in Nashville, but they don't want to live in Nashville because the cost of living, they get more house for the money here in Clarksville than they, are getting in Nashville. Job opportunities. There's a lot of major companies that are here. Above and beyond the, the military. Yes, we have the second largest Army base here, but above and beyond that, there's, several different opportunities, and we'll get into that in a few more slides. Is a quick drive to Nashville, like I was saying earlier. It's like, around 50 minutes, 45, 50 minutes, you can make it to Nashville. So, in most cities, I know in California and living in Los Angeles, you can't get anywhere within 45 minutes. So, so it's a quick drive, a quick commute, and so people are comfortable with that. Education, we have some really good schools here in Clarksville. Not just because we have Austin Peay, but we have really good high schools that have the academies. So, a lot of people look at that when they're, moving to this area. And just the quality of life altogether. It is very diverse here. It's a mixed town with, different things to offer. They're building more. Clarksville is the 5th largest city in Tennessee. So you're looking at Nashville, then Memphis, then Knoxville, Chattanooga, and then Clarksville. So, a lot of people, when they get stationed here in Clarksville, They, stay at Fort Campbell for a couple of years, and when they, ETS out of the military, they want to come here or they return here. They want to stay here or they return here. So Clarksville claims the hottest zip code in the entire country. So I think that was 37042 was very, very popular. And also 37043, which was the Sango area. So, Open Door, and then you have OfferPad and different, other companies that are out there, trying to do what we real realtors do. They have did their assessments, and they have analyzed that Clarksville has one of the hottest zip codes that a lot of investors and just people that's moving to this area, they want to buy in. The 25 most affordable fast growing cities to consider in 2024. So if you look on this, and we can go through this a little bit, but if you see number 3 is Clarksville. So above us is like South Dakota, and then Killeen, Texas. So Clarksville is definitely growing fast. The population is growing. The housing market is, very, moving rapidly in a rapid pace. There's just growth. It's very lucrative here. There's like opportunities when it comes to employment, opportunities when it comes to investments, and just, a better, life. If you're trying to move away from, the city or something, or you're trying to get away from investing in bigger cities where you're getting ate up with taxes and different things like that, Clarksville has proven itself to be a very successful place to invest and live in. And this gives you a more breakdown of this, what we were talking about. It tells you like all the other cities that are growing. You might, been hearing a lot about Oklahoma City and, Huntsville, Alabama, and, Greensboro, North Carolina, so those are places that I've been hearing about for the last few years as well, growing. But Clarksville is number 3. So I won't be surprised if we make it back to number 1 again. Okay, and so this is just another breakdown, we pull a lot of data. We're constantly pulling data because we want our investors to know what our markets are about, what our markets have to offer, the trends of the market. So this is just another assessment that, in 2022, Open Door had ranked one of our zip codes as, number 1. And it's like I said, the 5th fastest growing housing market, but it's also the 5th largest city in Tennessee as well. And then we have Fort Campbell, which is the 2nd largest military base in the world. And we were also ranked the 4th best city in the nation for business attraction. So a lot of companies have been bringing their businesses here to Clarksville, and we'll get into that a little further on. Here's some of the major employers that we have here. We have Google, and Google started off it was supposed to be very small, and they wasn't supposed to hire that many people. And they got here and they saw how, the city was performing and what it had to offer, and decided to expand. So they expand Google and hired more people. We have LG, which is still building on and hiring more employees. We have Hankook Tires. You pretty much see Hankook Tires on a lot of cars nowadays. So when you're buying a car, just look at that car and see if it has Hankook Tires on it, because it's growing in the tire industry, almost as big as Bridgestone. Bridgestone has just been around a lot longer, but Hankook is growing. So these are some of the companies that are here. Of course, Fort Campbell, that's the Army, and Train. Train is your HVAC company that on Walmarts and malls and big department stores and grocery stores, 9 times out of 10, the HVAC unit, if it's not a Carrier, it's going to be a Train, because they make the industrial size HVACs. And then we have Tennova Healthcare, which is also growing. We have a lot of different medical centers and walk-in clinics and emergency rooms outside of the big hospital that are, that is from Tenova. So just a lot of growth, a lot of opportunity. And that's, the reason why people keep moving here. Here's another graph so you can kind of see some of the different areas, how far they are. You have like Amazon and Forum, and you have LG. So it kind of shows you the layout of the city and where some of those industrial plants are located at. And then this kind of tells you like the master plan, like where are we trying to go in the next couple of years, in the short future. Where are we going here in Clarksville? What are we going to have here to offer for the residents that, are either already, living here or relocating here? So you don't want to move to a town or a city that does not have opportunity for employment. When you move somewhere and you're living somewhere, you want to make sure that you have good paying jobs and stable employment. And that is one thing that we have to offer here in Clarksville. And this is just another breakdown of LG. It's, just kind of explaining, they put $3.2 billion into expanding, and then they added the other portion of LG, which is the battery plant. So it's like they're all like kind of on the same campus, but it's just expanding. And the more they expand and the more different departments that they add, the more job opportunities they have for people. They'll hire, they do more job fairs and hire more people. And, people will be able to, get promotions and more job opportunities and raises, and therefore they'll buy a property, or as they're moving here and they want to get to know the area more, they're looking for homes to rent or lease out for a year or two or whatever. So all of this work hand in hand. You can't have a strong rental market if the city can't hold it, and you don't have employment opportunities and, money for people to earn. Well, okay. So now I have some hand-picked properties that we're gonna, go over and discuss. These properties are different properties. So we're gonna have properties that are new construction. We'll have properties that are Marshall Reddick owned properties that have been turnkey or renovated and has a tenant already, placed in the property that's paying, rent already, that's in a lease. So it's automatic cash flow. And then, we're going to have some multifamily properties. So tonight I'm going to show you a few different properties so you can kind of get an idea of what we have to offer. So our first property is a new construction. And this one is on 7070 Burrell. And this property, with it being new, it does have a tenant that's going to be moving in soon. So you won't have to, worry about some of the costs that you might see in reference to a leasing fee. You won't have to worry about that because that's already, taken care of. And the asking price for this property is $359,900. And the numbers work a lot better with 30% down. And if you pay that 30% down, you'll see the difference of paying just 20 or 25. It just makes more sense to pay the 30% down. Kristen, you want to chime in on this property? I know that you've been dealing with this for a minute.
Yeah, so I wanted to actually, as Malika just mentioned, the financing for this property, you'll see down on the left-hand side under the property criteria, special promotions available for this property. So what that's in reference to is the financing. And if you look over on that right-hand column, you'll see mortgage payment and you'll see 6.75, which is the average interest rate currently. And you'll see that axed through and you'll see a 5.25 interest rate. Now this is because with the builder of this particular property and their preferred lender, we have a promotional financing option which requires the builder to do and the lender to work on a forward commitment, and that forward commitment of a certain dollar amount then gets passed along to you, the consumer. So with a 30% down payment for a property like this one, you're looking at being able to buy the rate down to that 5.25%. So with the forward commitment from the builder, that's helping to buy that rate down. The buyer gets to put in funds up front to further buy that down. So I don't want to spend too much time on this. I'd love it if you guys have questions and you want to know more, to email me, email Malika, and I'm definitely happy to hop on a call. But basically the way this works is in a standard conventional transaction, the seller is only allowed to buy down 2 points, which is basically 2% of the purchase price. So with a forward commitment, it allows the seller to put more towards that to buy the rate down even farther, and then still allows the buyer to buy the rate down as well. So at a 30% down payment on property, as the buyer, you're in order to get down to that 5.25%, you're essentially buying your rate down about 1.5 points to the tune of about $4,000 or so. Again, that's going to depend on the property, the list price, but at $359,900, at $359,900, it's probably about $3,400 that you would pay in to buy that rate down. And we're going to look at another new construction with a $309,000 purchase price. That would be about $4,000 to buy that rate down. So again, depends on the purchase price. It depends on what you're borrowing. But with this particular new construction, this phase with this builder, when you work with their preferred lender, this could be a financing option for you. It is not a 30-year fixed product. It's actually a 10-6 ARM. However, we have a lot of clients, sorry if you guys saw my pop-up, we have a lot of clients that are opting to do this because it's still amortized over 30 years. You just have that, you know, at the 10-year mark, you're either looking at a refinance or perhaps you're selling the property prior to when that rate adjusts, if that's what you're looking to do. But I did want to touch on that financing incentive. We're also offering a month of free management for our Marshall Reddick investors. So this really is going to help your initial cash flow. I know interest rates are high right now, and you know, we have a lot of clients that are you know, struggling with the purchase price and the interest rate. So this is one way that we're working with our builders and our lenders to help make it a little bit easier, if you will, for our clients to get into some of this brand new construction. So you'll see that anywhere on the right-hand side where you're looking at the numbers, anything that you see highlighted in that beige color that matches special promotions available, that's where those savings are passed along to you, the consumer.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kristen, for breaking that down, and you explained it beautifully. So thank you so much. This is the second property that she was talking about that is a new construction. And, you know, same thing. It is what the program we're calling it is called forward commitment from, you know, the builder. So, so everything that she just explained to you on the last property will also apply to this property as well. This one is a little bit cheaper because it's a little bit smaller, and it's $3,099. So you can look at all the numbers, and all of this will be available to you on this recording, because it will record, so you can play it back and look at it. Or if you're interested in any property that you see tonight, feel free to reach out to Kristen or myself, and we're happy to, you know, jump on a call with you, you know, answer your questions to the best of our ability, you know, to, you know, so you can go to the next steps. Okay.
Actually, Malika, can we go back?
Sure.
I just want to touch on a few things really quick for those viewers who are new to the company.
Mhm.
You mentioned the leasing fee, and there's a few things here that are starred. So I just want to explain really quickly. If you look down at the monthly income box, it's got a big green square around it. Under that is your estimated maintenance. We're taking 5% of rent, and you'll notice that's down from 8% because this is a new construction. So when a
Mhm.
property was built within the last 5 years, we're going to adjust the estimated maintenance to reflect the newer properties. So this is an A-class property. That's where your 8% maintenance and vacancy estimates come in. So we are going to go ahead and drop that to 5% because it's new. And then for the leasing fee, it says it usually will say 50% of 1 month's rent over 18 months. So it says 0 here because that's part of the special promotion, but it will come up on the next couple of property pro formas. So what that means is your leasing fee to place a new tenant is 50% of 1 month's rent. So for easy math, your rent's $1,000, it's going to cost you $500 to rent that property out. That's going to pay your agents for showing. It's going to ensure that you have the best qualified tenant in your property. So that's going to cost, as I mentioned, 50%. So what the leasing fee equation is saying is that if you were to put away the dollar amount you see here, which for this property is, again, zeroed out because it won't be applicable for the promotion. But when there's a dollar amount there, if you were to put away that dollar amount every single month for 18 months, at the end of that 18-month period, you would have accumulated the leasing fee. So for this property, when you do have another tenant or you need to place a new tenant, and that fee is applicable to you, that's what that equation is going to break down. So if you have further questions, please let us know. We're happy to dive into the financials a little bit farther on a consultation or outside of the webinar, but just wanted to break that down a little bit since we hadn't yet. Thanks, Malika.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Here's another property, 568 Laurie. Now, 568 Laurie is one of the properties I told you that is a Marshall Reddick owned property. This is a property that we went in and we did some work to it, and we have placed a tenant. So you won't have a leasing fee with this property either, because we've already taken care of that. Same similar type of scenario, you would pay the 30% down for the down payment. And the reason that some might be saying, well, Malika, why do I need to put down 30%? Why can't I just put down 20%? In order for the numbers to work, for you to cash flow, for the property to perform, 30%, it just works better because of the interest rates. So unfortunately, that's something that none of us can control. So we're trying to still make it work, make it make sense. So the formula that we're using is 30%. 30% is just that sweet spot that helps the property to cash flow. And you want a property that's going to perform. This property is super cute, a super unique property. It has 2 bonus rooms on it. So I'm all about space. So it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It has you can call it a man cave or a den or a family room. So it has that area on it. And then also upstairs, there's 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. And then there's like a bonus room off of one of the bedrooms. So a super cute place, close to Post. The tenants that are living in it love it. They were like, and they moved here from California and they absolutely love it. They said, I found them the perfect house. And you can check that Zillow review out on Zillow when they left me this long review about how happy they were with their house on 568 Laurie. But this is what we try to do. We want to make sure that when we're handpicking these properties and finding these properties, we're finding properties that will perform for our clients, that our clients can build their portfolios with, and that they're going to be happy with, so they can continue on purchasing more properties. So here is, the numbers on this one. They're is collecting $1,500 in rent right now. And at every year at lease renewal, or if they move out and replace another tenant, it's going to always be increases. It's going to always increase. 1,500 is just where we're at right now. So let's look. Okay. All right. So this property, 776 Cherry Bark, this is a fourplex. This is a multifamily property. So a little bit about this property. I have two different examples for you on this property so you don't get confused. We're going to see it again in a second, and you're going to see a difference in the numbers, okay? So to explain a little bit about this property, a fourplex in Clarksville. They have 2 bedrooms, a bath and a half in each unit. 2 of the units have been renovated. So you have Unit A and Unit D. The 2 on the end have been renovated. The 2 in the middle have had tenants in it for some years. They've been there so the rents are kind of behind. So that's the reason why, if you look over to the right and you see like the negative down in this area, it's only like that because it's not getting its potential rent, because you have 2 units that are under rent value. Okay. And so once we get those rents up to where they need to be, then the property will perform at a better price. I mean, at a better cash flow. Okay, so you'll get a little cash flow. If you look at this number here, 151, you'll get some cash flow the way that it is at the price that it is, with 30% down. But if we click to the next one and you look at this, look at the difference. Okay, so it makes a big difference. And this is with the property, each unit being rented at $1,050. So if each unit rents at $1,050, you'll be definitely at a positive cash flow. Everything, all your numbers change, and it's more positive at that price point. So that's the plan. Don't be afraid to purchase a property that may not be where it needs to be at that time, but we're going to help you to get it to where it needs to be. So, this owner did 2 of the units. The other 2 people just would not move out. And they've been good tenants. So when you have, sometimes, as an owner, you make those, executive decisions. If you have a long tenant, one tenant's been in like 8 or 9 years. It's been a long time. And he just don't want to go nowhere else. But, eventually, something's going to have to change. But, this is a great property. It's close to post. It stays rented. It's because, where it's conveniently located off of 101st, so people can shoot straight to the base if they are military, or if they need to get to Nashville, they're not far to, hit 101st and get over to 24 and get to Nashville. So, that's the great thing about this property. Okay. I think I skipped. Hold on, I'm sorry. Let me go back. Okay, here we go. So we're going to talk about property management. So a little bit about property management, and you've been hearing us hitting on it all night. We talked about, leasing fees, lease renewal fees, tenant late. Well, we haven't talked about that, but we'll get into that. This just breaks down the structure of how the fee structure is set up with your tenants. So we have a lease renewal fee, and it's 15%, versus some property management companies, charge you between $150 and $250, but we only charge 15%. So whatever the lease renewal, the lease fee is, that's what, we're going to charge 15% of that for the renewal when your tenant is ready to renew their lease. As for the tenant late fee, whenever we're trying to collect, sometimes we have to, if a tenant falls behind or they get late on their rent or something, we have to be a little bit, more aggressive. We're spending more time, with that tenant, trying to collect from that tenant. So whatever the late fee is for the tenant, it'll be a 50-50 split. Marshall Reddick would keep 50% of that, and then you as the owner will get the other 50%. Okay. The leasing fee is always 50% of 1 month's rent. So if your property is renting for $1,500, your leasing fee is going to be $750. Some property management company charge a whole month's worth of rent. So you don't even get that first month of rent because you have to pay that out in the leasing fee. The setup fee, we charge nothing to set you up as an owner. We don't charge a fee to set you up. We just set you up as an owner. Other property management companies can charge anywhere between $100 and $300 just to sign you on. The maintenance coordination fee. So some property management companies charge between 10 and 20% to have a maintenance coordinator call and send out a plumber, or send out an HVAC company. They charge you because they made the phone call. That's part of our property management fee. We don't charge you anything extra to facilitate helping with the vendors going out to get to the property and making the repairs. Okay. Eviction coordination fee. Some property management companies charge between $250 and $500. We charge nothing. Once again, that is part of our management fee. Okay. And as you can see listed at the bottom, the management fees are, can start as low as 5% if you have a lot of units. If you're an owner that have multifamily units, like 30 units plus, you're going to be only paying 5%. If and then it just goes accordingly to how many units you have. Single family with 8% management fees. Most property management companies are going to charge you between 10 and 12%. So you're saving all the way around. As we mentioned from the beginning, we are a one-stop shop. Whatever you need, we can help you. We can help you if you are looking to buy a new construction, if you're looking to buy an existing property that's on the MLS, if you're looking to do a burial yourself, like you want to buy a property that's maybe distressed and it needs some work done to it, we can help you in that capacity. We can help you even if you want to build, we can help you find the land and whatever you want to do. We are a one-stop shop, and then we manage the property for you. And I know it's scary sometimes when you're an out-of-state investor looking to buy a property and you're way 2,000 miles plus away, and you can't just get here every day or get here quickly. That's what we're here for. We are here to help you build your real estate portfolio. We're here to help you with your investments. If you have been an investor with us for a long time and maybe you're like, you know what, I just want to sell everything and I want to move to Tahiti or whatever you want to do, we're here to help you to do that as well. So I'm going to turn it over to Kristen, and she's going to go through a couple of slides with you guys.
Thank you, Malika. So I'm just going to touch on this really quickly. Malika, thank you for doing such a thorough job walking through our property management fee structure. We have really tried to simplify the management process for our clients. As Malika said, we do have a lot of owners that live in California and own property in Texas or Clarksville, Tennessee, Oak Grove, Kentucky, and they are thousands of miles away. So we want to make it as easy and streamlined as possible. So, which is why we have really shaved the fees down. And we try not to overcharge. We try not to, nickel and dime our clients. And I believe we do a great job of that as someone who uses, or not anymore, but who previously used outside management companies when we were with third-party referral vendors. It really does sting when you see charges for coordinating maintenance, because it's like, what am I paying my 8% monthly for if I'm going to pay for all of this in addition to that? So we really try to streamline the process. And then again, because we have that in-house now, when you do purchase a property in Clarksville, you're working with Malika and me, and then the management team in the office the leasing agents in the office, and for the life of the investment, you get to come back to those same people for any questions, for any issues you may have to add to the portfolio if you're interested in selling. So it really does help to streamline your experience with Marshall Reddick. So if you have, again, property management questions, please feel free to reach out to Malika or myself. We are happy to answer those for you and anything else that we've touched on tonight. Our website, for those of you who are newer to Marshall Reddick Real Estate, if you get on our Learn page, there's tons of education. There's tons of articles and videos that you can watch. Really anything as it pertains to real estate you can find on our website. We do a lot of these webinar presentations with some of our other vendors that I mentioned earlier on. We do updated versions of these webinars pretty frequently. I think Malika was on with one of my colleagues about 3 months ago. So we regularly try to update our data so that everything we have to share with you guys is up to date. It's the most current that is available. So you can check that out again. That's on our Learn page. You can also request to connect with an advisor, and you can look at some other FAQ, which is also really helpful for some of our newer clients. Our market data packets are free. You can download those online. This is going to basically show you in a quick read a lot of the information and details that Malika has spent the last hour sharing with you as well. So you'll get to see in a little bit more depth what the economic climate is, what the demographic is, the number of people who are moving in and out annually. So it really is going to do a little bit of a deeper dive with some of that data in these packets. So take advantage of those. When, again, on the Learn page in the search bar, you can click in market data and everything new will pop up. So you'll be able to see the most recent version of that Clarksville, Tennessee, Oak Grove, Kentucky packet as well. Our property rating ebook is another helpful tool. You may have heard me reference an A-class property earlier on when we were looking at some of our hand-picked investments. That relates to property class, which relates to median home price, which is all explained in the ebook for those of you who haven't heard that yet. I highly encourage you to check that out. I'll usually send out the link to all clients who request a consultation because it is really very helpful, especially to start talking about property criteria and what type of investment might be the best one for you. Sometimes sometimes you don't know. If you're just getting started, you're just in the information gathering stage, sometimes you don't know what property class you're looking at or what your criteria is. So this is a really great way to get started, and also is going to walk through all the methodology and principle behind our property ratings, how we arrive at those, and again, maintenance and vacancy estimates are based on property class as well. So it's really a great way to familiarize with our rating system, as you're going to see that as you peruse properties on the website also. And here's my contact information along with Malika's contact information. Again, anyone who has additional questions, we would love to get to those. I don't think questions have been very popular this evening. I haven't seen a whole ton. But if anyone has any questions, we're very conscious on time tonight. So we do have a few minutes left. If you'd like to go ahead and type questions into the box. If I don't see any in the next couple of minutes, we're going to go ahead and let everybody go. And as I mentioned, Malika or I will be following up with everyone in attendance tonight. I'll leave this slide up so you guys can take down our info. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Malika, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your wealth of knowledge on the Clarksville, Tennessee market. I want to thank all of our investors who joined us tonight. We wouldn't have presentations if it weren't for you guys tuning in. So thank you so much for joining us. And we appreciate you, and we want to make sure that we get you all the additional info and details you need. So please don't hesitate to reach out again. And I think that'll do it for us.
Thank you all for joining tonight. We know that everybody is busy. We really appreciate it. Don't hesitate to reach out, call, text, email, whatever. Especially me, I'm always available. It's an
Yes,
insomnia thing,
do.
but
And you'll see here these, the phone numbers that we've posted are cell numbers. So you can call, you can text, or of course, email is always convenient. Whatever means of communication that's good for you guys is good for us. So we're here for you and look forward to the opportunity to work together. Thank you everyone for joining.
thank
Bye.
you. Good night.